Okay, okay. I know it's silly, silly, silly. It's really silly. But on occasion, not all the time, and I do it less now than I used to, but on occasion, I do allow myself to go into particularly YouTube comments, which are usually the most egregious, and I allow myself to get involved, particularly correcting people's grammar. And I thought that this was worth talking about because there is a wider point that I will come to. But there was a lady that made a comment saying that I was gatekeeping the English language from non-native speakers. And I thought, well, that's a bit odd, but it's also quite an obvious thing to say because standards to me are really important. I'm a very tidy person. I crave tidiness. But I do actually, when it comes down to it, I do crave also appropriateness, propriety, high standards. And when I see that people are being, lazy and imprecise in their speech, I do charge in sometimes. But the thing is, the point about standards is if you keep allowing people, whatever it is, whether it is grammar or whether it's running businesses, customer service, or any of these things that you encounter on a day-to-day basis, when you allow standards to slip, to me, the world becomes a less beautiful place, and things like this matter to me because I want to do things properly, I want to do things profitably, and I want to make the most out of every single situation that I'm in. And when I see that people are disrespecting a language, it's not just insulting words, but there's a literary and a cultural history to language. And the English language has produced some of the most beautiful literature in the world. And it's such an expressive and wide-ranging language with a beautiful vocabulary and a lovely structure. It's very poetic, it's very magical, and I think that's worth upholding. But if you think about the word gatekeeping, well, what is a simpler way of actually putting that? Well, that's boundaries, That's setting standards, that's saying yes to certain behaviour and no to certain behaviour. And the thing is, people a lot of people do not like boundaries. They don't like their behaviour being highlighted, being picked up on. And boundaries are very threatening to a lot of people. So rather than learn, because I remember the last few times that I went to Europe, that when I went to Paris, for example, with my sister, there was an automatic assumption that we would speak French. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, fair enough. But for some reason, people have different rules about the English language. It's very, very odd. They're probably still upset about Brexit. And the other thing that this lady said, other than effectively talking about boundaries, she also said, oh, well, the thing is, most people in England are very progressive now. And there's this idea of progressivism for progressivism's sake. That I believe, obviously, in making progress with your goals and your dreams and the things that you really want. But when progressivism becomes saying that morbidly obese people are plus size, that to me is just wrong and dangerous. And it's the same thing with language. Oh, it's progressive and we're just going to keep playing with it and messing around with it. That to me is also morally repugnant, and it's unattractive, it's ugly, and it takes away from beauty and precision and truth. So the question really that I will leave you with is progressivism progress. It's progress. Is progress for progress's sake? Is progressivism for progressivism's sake? Is that really a good thing? Something to think about.